I've got a lot of seeds that I need to sow to fill containers this year. Because, as you know, last year we did a container garden and we got quite a lot of produce from that in a very small area. It's only 12 feet by 12 feet. And we just fill it with various sized containers and grow as much produce as possible. And we are going to be doing that exact same thing this year, but we're also going to try a few different varieties of plants in it as well. And one of those varieties that we will be trying is called Slenderette, and it's a French bean, but it's not a big tall plant like what we usually grow. It's basically a bush bean, and this plant only grows to about 20 inches tall, but you still get a really big yield of beans from just one plant. And the beans are about 5 inches long, really slender, and they're stringless as well. So because we're only growing small plants, obviously we're going to put them in small containers. And we're going to try and maximise the variety of things that we grow in that container garden area this year. But before we do anything, we've got to get these little plants growing. So we're going to sow some of these French bean plants today. But bear in mind that French beans are not cold hardy at all. So you're going to have to germinate them indoors. And then you're going to have to leave them indoors to grow on a bit until it gets a little bit warmer. And I'm going to start off 12 plants today. Because they're not taking up much space, and once they've germinated they grow quite quick, we can just do 12 and then do 12 a bit later down the line. So we've got a constant feed of fresh green beans to pick all the way through summer. Normally we'd use a variety called Cobra, and that's a French bean, and it's very high yielding, but they're the plants that can grow up to 6 foot tall. And we're trying to stay away from big structures in gardening this year and concentrate a lot more on container growing, because not everybody's got a huge garden. By the time we get to the end of the sowing, it's going to be a little bit of something for everybody. Let's take a look at these Slenderette bean seeds. So these beans are white in colour. Little white beans like that. Whereas the Cobras are black. But they're exactly the same, and you can see that they are quite a small seed as well. So they're perfect for starting off in these little cells. And we can grow 12 plants at a time. So we'll get some of these planted now, and then we'll see what else there is to do today, because I'm sure there's plenty. I'll show you something else that I do with bean seeds as well. And it's not something that's massively important, but it's just an habit that I've got. If you look on one side of these beans, it's quite difficult to see on the white ones, but you'll see that there's a little bit of a line along one side of these beans, whereas the other is just a smooth surface. The part where the line is on this bean is where the roots come out, and the smooth side is what opens up like a clam, and that's where your plant grows from. So when I plant them, I always plant them that side down, so when the roots do come out, they're straight into the compost. But if you just plant them in any old way, just chuck them on surface and press them down, what happens is the beans, as the roots grow, the bean will turn inside that compost, so it's the right way up, and it will still work perfectly fine. But I always think that while the plant is taking that little bit extra time to turn itself around, why not save it that little bit of time by planting them this way down from start. But as I said, that's my preference. You don't have to do it, you can just shove them in any old how and leave them to grow. So we're pushing these fingernail depth again. They're quite large seeds. If you come across any in your pike that's like that, they've got little cracks in them, I wouldn't bother with them, I chuck them away. They're probably not going to work, and we don't want to be wasting time when we've got quite a lot of seeds to go at. And I got these seeds, once again, from Premier Seed. And I think they cost me about £1, but you get 200 seeds, which is definitely a bargain. So they've all been planted in there, and you can see the depth that they've been put into as well. And then we just give them a quick cover over. Because the bean seed's so big, they'll have no trouble at all breaking the surface of this compost. So there's no need to put a fine covering on top like we would with things like carrots and lettuce. And then we'll get them watered in. And that's them done. And I wouldn't cover these with cling foam like we do a lot of other plants, because once these beans break the surface, the tops of the plants are quite big. So if they get restricted in any way by cling film, because you're not around to notice that, then it's going to start and bend that stem as it's trying to grow. So the only thing you should really do is just cover it up with something. You can cover it with a propagated top if you want, or just a black lid, but cover it with something, because once again, mice like to dig these seeds up. And of course, we need to pop a little label in it, so we don't forget what they are. So as I said at the beginning, we'll do 12 plants, we'll move them on, probably into 9cm pots to grow them on a little bit, and we'll keep doing that until we decide which container we're going to be putting them in when we move from outside. But ideally, we don't want to be doing that until early May, because if that weather turns, frost is going to kill these plants straight away. So that's another little job done this morning. So that's your Slenderette bush bean variety of French beans. So whether you decide to do that or not, obviously it's dependent on your personal circumstances. If you've got the space to build big cane constructions that you can tie string to grow lots and lots of these really big French bean plants like Cobra or Blue Lake, then that's perfectly fine. But we're trying to fill up that container garden as well as the raised beds outside. And because we did the big French bean plants last year, we've got bags and bags of frozen French beans. So now we can just grow a few. And obviously because it's a bush bean, the beans are a bit thinner, but also going to be a lot more tender. So that's another reason why we're trying this variety this year. Anyway, I've got quite a few more jobs to do this morning, and I'll be back later on sowing a few more seeds or moving on some plants. Maybe even a couple of harvests so early in season. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.